I also spoke with Daniel Vigil, an Amazon Prime Now driver. He's been with the company for 3 years, and this is by far the most deliveries he's ever seen. Here you go.
Thank you.
With Murrow News 8, I'm Chris Mitchell. Residents and parents alike are starting to show more concern for Halloween safety during COVID. Yet, that is not going to stop them from putting on a great Halloween for their kids and for themselves. Next Tuesday is Election Day and the last day to drop off your ballot. If you haven't already mailed it or dropped it off at a ballot box and you don't know where that is, you can visit your county's government website to see those locations. Opener game for the Seahawks. You'll usually see this walkway up Occidental Avenue completely full of 12s sporting their Seahawks jerseys. Silver remembers seeing videos on social media of people waiting up to hours in line to vote. Around this island is a basketball hoop. And these are the coins that we were talking about. They've been scattered across for months now, even before the pandemic started. Instead of walking up these stairs this Sunday, fans might be walking into a restaurant or walking down the street to a neighbor's house for a barbecue.
Washingtonians have been relying on increased delivery since the beginning of the pandemic. Groceries, meals, and household essentials can all come to your door to limit your amount of social interaction. Angelica is a shopper for Instacart. She has not been doing it for long, though she understands how important of a job she is doing. Delivery driving really opened her eyes to just how much every person has been affected by COVID-19.
When it comes to delivery stuff, I think a lot of folks, there's nothing else. What is there else to do? I know I've seen a lot of deliveries being done because of COVID.
Priya Patel is one of the owners of the UPS Shipping Center in Kenmore, Washington. While a lot of goods have been going straight to the consumer, the amount of traffic at her store has really ramped up due to COVID as well.
Currently, people don't want to go into actual brick and mortar stores. They prefer to do a lot of online shipping. Amazon being a larger vendor, especially in the Pacific Northwest, they're experiencing a lot of flow, which runs the traffic through the UPS stores. One of the things, people are obviously staying away. So you see, grandmas baking cookies for their grandchildren and shipping it. Moms sending care packages to their students in college. We're seeing quite a dynamic of person to person shipping as opposed to business or business to person. So.
I also spoke with Daniel Vigil, an Amazon Prime Now driver. He's been with the company for 3 years, and this is by far the most deliveries he's ever seen. Here you go.
Thank you.
With Murrow News 8, I'm Chris Mitchell.
For a lot of college students, this will be their first time voting in a presidential election. The process of voting is normally quite simple. This year, there are added obstacles for college students due to the coronavirus and concerns over mail-in ballots. Hannah Silver is from Seattle, but she currently is living in Bellingham as a Western Washington University student. When her mom texted her that her ballot had arrived, she knew that she had to go home.
So I drove from Bellingham to Seattle to vote, and then I voted at my house, and then drove about a mile from my house to drop it off at a ballot box because I didn't want to mail it back.
Silver remembers seeing videos on social media of people waiting up to hours in line to vote. In Washington, since 2011, there hasn't been in-person voting. But even if there was, no matter if it was rain, wind, or shine, with or without COVID, Silver said that she would have still voted in person.
If that's how it was in Seattle, I would still do it. It would definitely be frustrating. I heard stories about people waiting in line for hours and the pouring rain. I would still vote, and especially being such an important election.
Chris Birmingham is a Washington State University student and a Kenmore resident. He was glad that Washington doesn't use in-person voting for his first time casting a presidential ballot.
No, I kind of like doing it from home because I wasn't pressured into doing research beforehand, or I could just read into the pamphlet right there and I could take my time to actually go through it.
Next Tuesday is Election Day and the last day to drop off your ballot. If you haven't already mailed it or dropped it off at a ballot box and you don't know where that is, you can visit your county's government website to see those locations.
For Murrow News 8, I'm Chris Mitchell.